virtual editions that we're doing, and we're joined today from Voltage Leadership Consulting, Jeff Smith. Jeff, good to see you. I know you mentioned a little bit off, we'll call it off air, off camera, that we're all adjusting and you have your family and a large family at home, so you're working through noises and making sure they know you're recording and making sure you're on meetings. So good to see you. How you doing? And kind of tell us what you're seeing with a lot of what you're working with your clients and out in the community, and we'll kind of jump right into it. So go ahead.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, I got a little bit of everything going on. So there's 6 of us here, and so 4 kids, and we have so far today we've had a college exam. We've got another one studying by sleeping in, I think, till almost 1 o'clock. Then the high schoolers finished up some work, seems to have moved on to playing video games. The youngest did homework and is waiting for me to go outside. So I had to kind of run upstairs and just say, hey, I'm getting ready to record for the chamber. Let's not chase the dog through the house, so, but aren't we all living in that right now? That's, we've all come to a new norm. And I think what I see is that folks are more patient. They're understanding. And I know we'll get to this a little bit with the assessment, but I think we're also trying to find a new way of like, what can we do at home? What are the possibilities? One of the things I would just say, Eric, that I'm really seeing is that we've sort of made that shift. First, we all scattered. Like we had to get home. There wasn't a whole lot of planning around that. Next, we went to like, okay, how do we improve productivity? Or we're home. Maybe we should have a pull-up in the morning. Now we're sort of in the third phase of we're in a new operating rhythm, and it's going to be here for a while. Some might return back to the workplace for a while, but then there might be a spike, and we all go back home. So I think we're all in that new operating rhythm. And I've really been challenging a lot of my folks to not go back to thinking this is March 13th when they go back to the workplace, that whenever they go back, what changed, what did they learn, and what's going to be the new way of operating when they get back. So that's some of what I'm seeing there. What about you?
Yeah, so that's a great point, and I think you're exactly right when it comes as far as phases is, we've all had to kind of, I said this to Austin, and I've told this to Joyce, our president and CEO, is March 12th. We as the chamber were able to host a coronavirus information session kind of before everything started to shut down. It was like that afternoon, sports started to shut down. And man, that was a mentally exhausting day. And I think you're exactly right, is it went from kind of this, wow, initial shock to where, okay, we need to start working through this. Let's start being forward thinking, to where we're at now and saying, okay, we have these new systems in place. We have these new adaptations in place, knowing we're going to need to adapt and improve again. But we have a runway of understanding that, hey, we can do this. We got technology. We have, all these organizations have, we're smart people. We've done this before, and we're going to continue to adapt and improve. And I think you're exactly right. And we're seeing a lot of that from chamber membership side. And that's exactly why we wanted to continue to do these chamber chats, is for that exact reason, is to kind of have some sense of normalcy, even if it's from a Zoom capability and from a chatting capability. And, we're seeing a lot of the same things. Is we're all using our brains probably a little more than we thought we were going to at this point of the year. But it's all good things. It's all positive things. So thank you for sharing that from a perspective of what you guys do. And great segue into one of the reasons we wanted to kind of come on and talk today is the work from home assessment that you guys are putting on, as well as why don't you discuss a webinar that's actually happening this afternoon, April 30th at 3 o'clock. Why don't you talk a little bit about your work from home assessment and how folks, can learn more. And I'll shut up and just let go ahead and roll with the work from home assessment and all the great things you're doing. So
no, you're fine, Eric. It's great. I appreciate it. It's a great conversation. Great to have a conversation with the chamber. So TTI-SI, you may know them for their DISC assessments. They do a lot of driving forces, DISC, etc. They recognize that everyone's scattered quickly. And so they are letting us, folks that partner with them, be able to do this free assessments. So we are put out an assessment, you answer 24 questions, and it will spit out a report that talks about what your dominant style is. It will give you a sense of what your strengths are, what are some of the challenges, and some tips for you at the workplace. Now, the workplace is, for most people, going to be at home. And so for someone like me, mine is yellow, it's outgoing, I get, wait, what were we talking about? Oh, distracted by shiny bright objects, right? And so it's got me saying things like, okay, schedule your day. When you take a break, time so you come back to the workplace a little quicker. And so it's got some nice tips. The part that I'm really excited about that we'll talk on in the webinar is it also identifies the 7 other types and to say, how do you get the most out of each other? So I'll just give an example. For folks that are maybe a little bit more predictable, all this time on Zoom and face-to-face, that's a little overwhelming for them. And so one of the things might be, does every call need to be Zoom? Do we have to have everyone in the company on every call? Yes, we want transparency. So we're going to talk about how do you get the strengths of yourself, how do you get others' strengths incorporated, but also in this age of how do we work together, how do we most effectively work with 8 different styles? So I'll be quiet for a minute, see what questions you got from that.
Yeah, no, that's great. And obviously, from what it sounds like, just a very detailed and concise webinar. For folks to register and for folks that may not be able to participate in that this afternoon, what's the best way for them to reach out to you? Because, you know, it's, as you've said, it's an evolving topic and it's an important topic. Is, you know, let folks know that if they can't join that webinar, how they can reach back out to you guys for support. I think that's a good, you know, kind of my main question for that.
Yeah, great question, Eric. So I think the easiest thing to do is either go to the Voltage Leadership Consulting website, so voltageleadershipconsulting.com. You can shoot an email to Diane@voltageleadership.com. That's probably the easiest. We'll probably do another webinar in the next couple of weeks. We're building some momentum of this, and people seem to have this conversation they want to keep going. What I'd also say is that I think we're, as we talked at the beginning, we're kind of coming out of this first wave. What happens when some people start going back into the workplace? Some are back still working from home. How are we going to do that? So we're going to have some future discussions about how do we get to the new normal operating rhythm where there might be more people at home than there used to be. So look for that in the future.
Okay, now and again, it's all great information. So voltageleadershipconsulting.com, and then Diane on your staff is great, and that's Diane@voltageleadership.com, correct?
Correct. You got it, Eric.
Okay. Great, and we should that should be showing up on the screen as we speak underneath of us. So Jeff, just such a ton of great information. What else, you know, kind of to wrap up, what else are you guys looking to do? Anything else you want to share with the community and with chamber membership before we wrap up? I mean, it's just a ton of great information, and you know, I just encourage people to visit your website, and if you're able to access it through the chamber website at roanokechamber.org, you can visit their directory page. Give us a little bit of sense on kind of what your message is to the community as we wrap up.
Yeah, I think a couple things. Great word there, community. A lot of folks right now, kind of tough to do sales, right? You know, how do you go about doing that? So a lot of what we're seeing is our customers, what can they give back to some of their customers? How do you engage with your customers? So for us, what that means is we're doing a lot more of these types of sessions, as well as the webinar is free. So look for us to continue to bring some free webinars, discussions, so that while people have a little bit, maybe a downtime, this is a great time to work on yourself, build up your foundation. I would also say that the other thing that I'm seeing for a lot of folks is there's going to be some real processing of what did we just go through. So for leaders, one of the things I really encourage the leaders to start thinking about is when you get to return to a new operating rhythm, whether that's June 10th or that is September 1st. We're unclear as we talk, right? When that will be. It is not going to go back to March 12th. We established some new ways of doing some work. Additionally, the goals that you set out at the beginning of the year, they're going to have to be revamped. Just coming back in and just saying what we're going to do, I'd say watch for that. So one of the conversations I'm with a lot of the leaders is what's going to be your new operating rhythm? What are some of the goals? And remember, you can't put all changes in at the same time. And so how are we going to space that out? So pacing and spacing of the work is critical.
Great. No, that's all awesome. So just it's like I'm thinking, my head is rolling as you're talking here of just, again, ways that we as the chamber can improve. And, you know, I just, again, encourage our membership and encourage the community to utilize these resources that you've shared on this, to join the webinar if they're able, to really to reach out to you folks and your great staff on ways that they can help, that you can help them and encourage them and help lead them, you know, as we all work through these times. So thanks for joining us, Jeff. It'll be good to see you in person, hopefully sooner than later, and we'll look forward to that. And that wraps up another edition of our Chamber Chat. As we keep saying, I'm going to keep going. We're going to keep it rolling and keep making it a great week. Enjoy the great weather, social distance, be safe, be healthy, and we'll talk to you very soon. Take care.